Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Packers swiped Marshawn Lloyd from playoff rival, report. The Green Bay Packers found their change of pace running back in Marshawn Lloyd, but another team was trying to snag him in the 2024 NFL Draft. Lloyd was selected with the 88th pick in this year's draft by the Packers. However, ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reported that the Dallas Cowboys were also interested in the USC prospect. Dallas had shown enough pre-draft love to Marshawn Lloyd that the USC tailback, who went to Green Bay at number 88, thought the Cowboys would be one of the possible teams to draft him, Fowler reported. The Cowboys weren't the only other team interested in Lloyd either. Like Dallas, the New York Giants also had their sights on USC running back Marshawn Lloyd as a future lead back but didn't have a pick between numbers 71 and 107, Fowler wrote. It seems that Lloyd was a hot commodity, but the Packers were able to get him before another team could. He may not have been the first RB off the board, but Lloyd brings an exciting skill set. Lloyd was one of the top high school running backs in the country in 2020. A four-star recruit, he had offers from programs like Alabama and Notre Dame. Instead, he decided to initially enroll at South Carolina. After a few seasons with the Gamecocks, Lloyd transferred to USC before 2023. He had a terrifically efficient season for the Trojans, averaging 7.1 yards per carry with 820 yards and 9 touchdowns. On film, Lloyd is a unique prospect. He's a home run hitter with excellent burst, but also the motor to keep his feet moving through contact. He also presents a unique athletic profile at just 5'8" and 220 pounds. His relative athletic score of 8.62 was also very good. Despite all of the things to like about Lloyd, there are some concerns. His 8.75-inch hands might be a big reason for his fumble issues, which included 8 over 3 seasons. Still, Lloyd's big playability makes him the perfect change of pace back in Green Bay's running back room. After taking Lloyd in the 3rd round, the Packers have some decent depth in their running back room. Josh Jacobs will be the go-to starter this season. The Packers signed him to a 4-year, $48 million contract at the start of free agency. While he's coming off a disappointing 2023 season, he was the NFL's leading rusher in 2022 with 1,653 yards and is only 26 years old. The real competition in training camp will be who gets the third-string carries behind Jacobs and Lloyd. A.J. Dillon could be that third back, but is coming off the worst year of his career. He was disappointing in short yardage situations, and averaged a career-low 3.4 yards per carry. Undrafted free agent Emmanuel Wilson could still be an option. The Packers liked him enough to give him a 53-man roster spot after training camp last year. He even got a handful of carries throughout the season, averaging 6.1 yards per rushing attempt. There's some solid depth in the backfield, but expect Jacobs and Lloyd to get the majority of the touches in 2024. Dallas Cowboys reveal why they didn't pursue RB Derrick Henry in free agency. The Dallas Cowboys always have some of the most fascinating storylines in the NFL, but heading into 2024, it's almost impossible to predict what Jerry Jones and company have planned. If you listen to Jones, he's sticking by his statement that Dallas is going all in for 2024 with the goal to finally get over the playoff hump and secure another Lombardi trophy. That logic made sense following the Cowboys' early exit from the playoffs. They had a team loaded with talent on both sides of the ball, and their franchise QB Dak Prescott was leading the MVP conversation for most of the year and finished 2023 with one of his best statistical seasons as a pro. The Dallas Cowboys were undefeated at home and entered the playoffs as a number 2 seed. But as anyone with a pulse has come to expect, Dallas choked in the first round of the playoffs, falling to a young Green Bay Packers team who barely snuck into the postseason. There were questions whether Jerry Jones would make significant moves after the loss, but he didn't. He retained head coach Mike McCarthy for 2024 and made it clear Prescott was the team's QB moving forward. Almost every NFL insider predicted the Dallas Cowboys would give Prescott a contract extension to free up cap space and add new talent in free agency, but instead, Jones hasn't done a thing and is letting Dak Prescott play out the final year of his contract. Beyond coaches, Dallas is expected to replace some of its top playmakers on both sides of the ball. One of the most glaring need is a running back to fill the void left by Tony Pollard, who signed with the Tennessee Titans. For a while, the Titans' former running back Derrick Henry was floated as the perfect fit for Dallas, but reports said the Cowboys didn't even contact the backfield bruiser before he ultimately signed with the Baltimore Ravens. As of now, one of the biggest offseason moves the Cowboys have made is to bring back fan-favorite Ezekiel Elliott, who looks like he may get the bulk of the carries along with a few young running backs on the roster in 2024. Elliott is definitely past his best before date, but the soon-to-be 29-year-old showed in New England last year that he can still be a productive role player. As the number 2 RB in New England behind Ramondre Stevenson, Elliott still posted 955 yards of offense and 5 touchdowns. Those numbers are especially admirable when you consider how awful the New England offense was a year ago. Elliott is still one of the best pass-blocking running backs in the game, and he had 12 rushing touchdowns for the Dallas Cowboys just 2 years ago. He's still reliable in goal-to-go situations and will boost locker room morale as the Cowboys try to bounce back from another humiliating and early postseason exit. Cowboys urged to sign 2-time Super Bowl champion running back. The Dallas Cowboys could be an ideal landing spot for a 2-time Super Bowl champion running back. As suggested by Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox, the Cowboys should consider signing former Kansas City Chiefs running back Jerick McKinnon. The 32-year-old running back remains a free agent after spending the past 3 seasons in Kansas City as a complimentary back. Knox argues that McKinnon brings value as a pass-catching back, a trait that Dallas could use out of their backfield for the 2024 season. A capable change of pace and receiving back, McKinnon could fill a valuable role in the Cowboys' backfield rotation, writes Knox. He has thrived as a pass catcher with the Kansas City Chiefs, hauling in 94 regular season passes over the last 3 years. The 10-year back has also served as a valuable piece during the playoffs, appearing in 7 postseason games for the Chiefs over the past 3 seasons. He actually started all 3 games of the Chiefs' postseason run in 2021, catching 14 passes for 165 receiving yards and 1 touchdown. His receptions and receiving yards in the playoffs ranked 3rd among all Chiefs players, only behind Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. McKinnon has also been valuable in the postseason, recording 74 touches for 477 yards in 7 playoff appearances with Kansas City, writes Knox. His experience in win-or-go-home games could be very valuable for a Cowboys team that keeps going home early. Because McKinnon is an older back and is primarily a pass-catching back, he would be signed at a bargain rate. This is something that actually fits well with the Cowboys' salary cap, considering they have $4.5 million in projected cap space. Furthermore, Cowboys executive vice president Stephen Jones admitted that the team wasn't able to sign Derrick Henry due to salary cap constraints. Our situation is just, and no one ever wants to say it, but it's salary cap, and we just didn't have the money to allocate to that position in terms of where we were from a cap standpoint, knowing what we're looking at with Dak, Prescott, and certainly Micah, Parsons, and CeeDee Lamb, Jones said during an appearance on Mad Dog Radio, hat tip Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk. While the idea of adding McKinnon is a nice proposal considering his pass-catching prowess and his experience in the postseason, Dallas would be adding a 3rd veteran back with a lot of wear and tear. The Cowboys have already signed Royce Freeman and brought back Ezekiel Elliott in recent weeks. Elliott has the most career rushing attempts, 2,065, of any active running back. McKinnon has 116 games of experience under his belt since entering the league in 2014. Outside of Cordarrelle Patterson, McKinnon would be the oldest back in the league if he signs with a team in 2024. The Cowboys currently have multiple backs on the roster, including returnees Deuce Vaughn, Rico Dowdle and Malik Davis. It's hard to envision Dallas signing McKinnon before the season starts. If there's an injury that pops up before the season or during the regular season, the idea of signing McKinnon becomes a more likely scenario. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Jerick McKinnon? Leave your opinion in the comments.